Good morning, friends. It's Nancy, and I have two journals to show you. They're both similar in that they contain the same number of pages, the same types of pages, and they're both relatively the same size. A little more bulk in the pink one. I have measurements for you. So they are 9 inches tall, irrespective of the tab at the top there. 9 inches tall and about 4 3/4 across. So let's start with the pink one. Why not? So you'll see I have this journal is covered in this beautiful hand crocheted lace. The top of it is anyway, and I've closed it with this sari. I'm just going to take that off, and there's a little rhinestone buckle attached here in the shape of a heart. Make sure we don't miss anything. Thread attached here. Okay, so the top has this beautiful vintage Christmas card. It's been mounted on a hard piece of almost chipboard, so there's a little bit of dimension there, and a little more lace down here. I reinforced the paper with vintage music paper, and this tag here is a vintage Christmas card, and it's tucked into this tuck spot that I created from a photo holder thing. So it had contained a picture of kids visiting Santa Claus, and this was the inside label, I guess you would call it, from this toy shop where Santa was visiting. Here's a small music book page, and on the other side there's a little tuck spot for that tag. Coordinating scrapbook paper. This trim is it's rickrack that's been crocheted on, and inside this tuck spot is a tag that I made decorated with a vintage Christmas card. This little envelope here dates to 1957. And inside you can see a candle peeking through the glassine. Here's some hand tatting that I stitched to the very, very edge. Little fussy cuts here and here. And here's a little card that I made for some journaling. And that was created with a vintage Christmas card. There's some beautiful bright pink velvet trim there. Vintage Christmas card. This is avocado dyed paper, I believe. No, it's not. You know what it is? It's food coloring. And I've just clipped on this. This is trim from a handkerchief. I believe that's called hairpin lace. And this is a vintage Christmas card. And I liked how we had a lot of pastels going on here. The pale purple, the pink, the blue. Little tuck spot here. So I created it, I collaged it. So there's lots of details here. Fabric, papers, That's from a Christmas card, an old Christmas card. And I made a couple tags decorated with pink stamps of a Christmassy theme. This is a first day cover from 1967. On the back, I've just put this scrap of a doily there and fussy cut poinsettia. This page is from an Ideals magazine. I just add a little bit of Nouveau drops to the flame to give it a little flicker. This tag is a tab, but you can also tuck something behind it. A little fussy cut angel there. This is a whole card, actually. It has two churches. I love the pink stained glass and all of the pastels. And it's got plenty of opportunities for using for journaling. Now, fussy cut little cookies here, and some big rickrack. I just stitched these pearls down sort of to match the little pearls of icing on the gingerbread cookies, or the sugar cookies, I guess. I've got some vintage trim along that edge. This is a vintage invoice from 1939. And I did some stenciling with the sparkle texture paste. This is a piece of fabric and some lace applique that goes all the way across and decorates. This is avocado dyed paper. 1925 receipt. And on the back, a little fold-up tuck spot for this Christmas card. Avocado dyed paper. And on the back, we have a little fabric flip. So another kind of trim. This time it's pink rickrack with white crochet on it. Part of a doily. This is an old piece of lace on netting, and then this pretty pink color fabric, gingham. I did this page in a video. I'm just gonna have a slurp of coffee. Felt like I was losing my voice there. So you can go back and take a look at that video to see how I created this page, but it is a page from an old Ideals magazine. I used stencil paste and a stencil to create this tree. Then I inked over it and added some stickles to give it a little glistening stars, and did a little bit of stenciling here with holly. Another piece of coordinating scrapbook paper. This is a tag that I made, and it I used eyelet lace to make the Christmas tree. This is a little tuck spot. You can see I've got a little bit of paper from December 1888 peeking out down here. And this is a invoice from the Eaton's Company. I think it dates to the 30s or 40s. And then I tucked in this letter. The letter is dated 1897. This is from a Christmas Carol book from the 60s. Another piece of avocado dyed paper. This little piece of fabric has a bulb pin with some beads. This one has a bulb pin with a little sparkly pink gem. Tuck spot is made with a vintage Christmas card, and this is a scorecard for progressive euchre. I have lots of good memories of playing cards at Christmas time. Sometimes we would have 4 generations playing one hand of euchre. My grandmother loved cards. This is a New Year's card from 1911. I thought it matched the colors in this coordinating paper really well. And on the back I have this little paper bag, and oh, I forgot to mention that I've done a little collage here on top of the paper just to add a little something. This is a magazine from December 1888. This photo is genuine, and on the back was written Wallace Wadland, so I turned it into a faux cabinet card, and you can see the little boy. He's playing in the snow and he's got a little white kitten. This flips open and we've got some writing paper here with some lace. This can be used as a tuck spot here, like that. This envelope, I believe it dates to the 50s. I covered up the return address. It wasn't anything interesting. I made this tag using scrapbook paper, and this holy card was printed in Italy. 1962, I think, was the date on it. And when I slide this down, you can see the Madonna and Child through the glassine of the envelope. Got a full Christmas card here. Here's a photo of a family on Christmas. A vintage Christmas card. A little more collage here. Part of that invoice from Eaton's pink doily. A little bit of fabric with this big pink bauble on it. And the paper doily flips over to this side as well. Another tuck spot that I made. I think I did this on camera as well, but if you didn't see it, I'll point out that this tatting has little blue beads stitched down, and I've made this collage with some blingy stuff and lace and appliques. That's a yo-yo, and inside there's this tag that I've created with vintage lace, some handmade paper, book page, another piece of paper, and it dates to 1934. It's an envelope, so you can slide something inside it and then tuck it away. This lace collage comes across to the back, and I just added another applique there. This is a crocheted ornament, and I decorated it with some iridescent sequins. Little fabric ruffle stitched on there. I love the pink and peachy colors, as well as the blue. It really matches well to this this page layout. Here's some more of that stenciling. Tuck Spot. This is a book page. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. The illustrator of the book was Holly Hobbie. I didn't know Holly Hobbie was a person. This comes from the 1920s, and this is something that children would have been given at Sunday school. And here we have an image of the shepherds. I folded it so that the winter scene was showing. And there's some verses and things on the back. Little trim, some fabric, a bead, and another pink jewel. A little lace applique on the top of this page. This is a lace pocket, and I've added a couple of sequins there. This is from a Christmas card, and there's some more of that hairpin lace. And it just slides on in. So pretty. That's the other half of that Christmas card that had the shepherds, or not shepherds, the wise men on it. This little fold-out place, it could be glued down, but right now I've got it pinned with a miniature paper clip. This is a vintage blotter. It's pink, so it had to go in. I bought this at a nostalgia show last weekend, specifically for this journal. I like the polar bear, and the fact it was pink, right? On this side, I've got a journaling card that is a beautiful candle. On this side, I have, this is a page from a little Carol book, and I've just added a little bit of netting down there. This is from the very early days of plastics. So this is made with celluloid. It's a very old Christmas card, and the celluloid had broken off, so I retained the inside paper, glued the celluloid to the front, and then added this. It had a string, but the string was yuck. So I added a new string, and if you wanted to, you could add extra pages just by tucking some paper under the string. And that's where its home is, and I'll just clip it back on. This is the back cover, and inside I have, this was a little magazine. It's in German, and I have no idea what it says. I know that's king, or something related to king anyway. Little poems. So that is the Pink Christmas Journal. Oh, I forgot to mention, if the new owner wants to use this as a December daily, I have fussy cutout. Well, some of these are just plain, well, not plain, but without numbers. But there are all of the numbers for the countdown to Christmas. So I will include those. Next up is this retro vintage, mid-century, modern Christmas journal. Again, the cover is scrapbook paper. I've made a collage with this applique, some gold lace, some gold paper doily, and this is the front of a Christmas card. The label inside here can come out, and so you can write on it or stamp on it. I've added this little bling on the side to give it a little more glimmer. Inside I have this tuck spot, this decorated with a collage of stuff. I made this tag. This is all vintage paper. I fussy cut him from a Christmas card. I love Christmas cards for Christmas journals. Piece of music paper that I have decoupaged on a vintage Christmas napkin. And this is an old Christmas card. It says, "My wish is big, my card is small, but Merry Christmas to you all." An envelope from 1948, and it's made a little tuck spot for this card. I made from a Christmas card, clearly, and I just added some Nouveau drops to give it a little glimmer and glisten. Some tea stained paper on the back there. This fabric tab, oh my goodness, has a gold snowflake clip to it. This opens up, and inside I have this tiny little paper doll. His name is Tim. Tim has a couple of outfits there. There he is after his bath and dressed up like a sailor, I guess. But there's Tim, and he has a little snowsuit so he can go outside and play in the snow. All right, Tim. Just a fussy cut. This is a page from a book, Raggedy Ann and Andy at Christmas time. Some tea stained paper. Made this little collage from pictures from a book and a little journaling card tucked in there. This is the front of a little Christmas caroling book. Page from an Ideals magazine showing some little baubles. This is a fabric pocket with some rickrack, and I've stitched on those little sequins. This is a cut apart that goes with the coordinating scrapbook paper that I've used. This is a 1930s invoice from Tasty Cake Company in Toronto. Tea dyed music manuscript paper. This is a receipt or an invoice from 1928, and it folds up. I decorated it a little with some retro Christmas wrapping paper, and it has an old Christmas seal there. A little journaling card. Some gold sari, and on this side we have a piece of gingham that has chicken scratch on it to make a wreath. There's some lace decorated with little red and green flowers, and some golden lace. Vintage music book paper. This is from an Ideals magazine. And inside, this side has a picture of a Christmas tree with some vintage baubles. This is the front of a little book from the 1950s. I've used that to make a tuck spot, and I made a collaged tag. The book page was from a book or a chapter called Christmas in the Air. An antique lace, and there's room for journaling on the back. Book page with a dollhouse. I wanted a dollhouse so bad when I was a kid. The Clark girls had a dollhouse like that. Some more vintage Christmas toys. I did some cross stitches on this fabric tab and stitched on some sequins front and back. This is paper that was dyed with purple cabbage, a little fabric, and some green and gold beads. This was made with a Christmas card, this tuck spot. And this is a page from a little Christmas book illustrated by England. Can't think of the first name. It'll come to me later. Some more coordinating scrapbook paper, and this is from the cut apart page. I put some paper on the back so you'd have journaling space, and this is a genuine vintage seal. On this side, I've got a little paper sack, and here's the little boy with his snowman. This flips out. I've got a tatted doily at the top and a red button, some writing paper, and this envelope is from 1954. I made this tag using a Christmas card, and it just slides on in there. Another Christmas card, and that's tucked behind the envelope. I just wrapped that doily over the top. This tuck spot has a flash card. I've just added some seals on top of wintry snowflakes. Covered the back with some paper. There's Charlie Brown with his sad Christmas tree. I've just stitched on this piece of fabric to make a tab. And this tag has lots of vintage stuff going on. So this is vintage ribbon, vintage photo, vintage tag, even vintage wrapping paper. I feel like I missed a page. Is that possible? Huh. Okay, here I have some invoices. I've just stapled that together. Thought the green and red were very cool. And a vintage seal. At the bottom, I have some fabric and ribbon. It wraps around to the other side. Has a little gold pin with some beads. This is some tea-dyed paper. and I decorated the flap with an old tag, some lace, some netting. Made this journaling card by gluing it to paper and fussy cutting. This is from a book. This is a vintage seal and some vintage wrapping paper decorating the top there. Some fabric, rickrack, lace, and here's a little wreath, a little gold wreath. This is a Christmas card. This is a Tim Holtz photo. I've just stitched a little Santa down there so that you can, the bottom of the photo pokes out. A little piece of fabric and a little gold jingle bell. Some more gold sari. This is another card from the cut apart that matches the coordinating paper, and it just slides up into that lace pocket. In here I have another cut apart that matches that scrapbook paper family, and this is from the inside of a Christmas card, so there's lots of room there for journaling. Wasn't even used. And on the back there's another photo, another dollhouse, and in this little pocket, I made this pocket using a piece from the Tim Holtz layers or something. That's a vintage paper coaster, and I have been hoarding this image. I believe it came from a book. And at the very back, got a guest check. It has paper on the back. I fussy cut that from a Christmas card. And speaking of Christmas cards, this flips open, and I've made a little pocket here. Now, okay, get in there, you. Using this Christmas card. I love how the blues and reds complement the paper in the back. I love it. And some more trim on the back. Okay, so, oh, and I also have the numbers cut out for this journal as well. Some of the numbers actually have like little images on them, but some of them, there's Santa. Some of them you could trim down a bit and decorate however you like. So those numbers are coordinating with this paper pack, and will go with this journal. All right, so thanks for taking the time to watch this flip through this morning. I will be posting this to my Etsy shop later today, and this will go live, let's say 6 p.m. Eastern time. All right, you take care. Have a great Monday. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.